Hello to all the new friends and everyone who has been here from the past in this YouTube channel. It's been a while since I posted something. I want to tell you what has been happening in the last year, but let's start from the beginning. There's an angry cat on my lap. That's one of the new things. Back to the topic, I already have a video of my first 8 years in Japan. So I will go back. So, 12 years in Japan, I already have a video of my first 8 where I described how I came to that point. For now, I'll just summarize that area and then build a bit more from there and explain also why I haven't been much active in the past year or so, at least on socials. I am Spanish from Barcelona, where I studied audiovisual communication, basically filmmaking. Then I learned some concept art, illustration. I improved my English, some Japanese before coming to Japan in 2014, where I enrolled in a Japanese language school, where I studied for a year and 9 months to get the GLPT N2, the Noken 2, which is fluent Japanese-ish. During that time, I had a part-time job at Go Nihon where I was a student coordinator, and then I joined the marketing team and helped coordinate conventions. Manager thing is learning more about marketing. It was a great experience. I'm just not getting into detail because that's what I have other videos about, and the topic of this channel is most animation. After graduating from the Japanese language school, I enrolled a vocational school that focused on animation. I basically joined their anime department. Well, basically they taught me a lot of what I know from anime. It was all full taught in Japanese. There were other foreigners in class, but they didn't speak English either, so it was a full immersion. I got a lot of vocabulary about animation. I forgot a lot of other vocabulary about other things that I wasn't using. And during that time, also, I maintained my part-time job at the same company, also doing marketing, and I also started writing my own webcomic. Windy Lightning, you can see it online. The first 4 chapters are there for free at the date of publishing of this video. And as you guys from coming to Japan and studying anime, I wanted to work in the anime industry. Yes, I built my own animation studio because I wanted to projects that follow a certain values. So the studio started as doing commissions. Basically, clients from all around the world hire me to do animation for them. I could sub-hire other people when I needed to work with a team. We work now in projects that have either only me or up to 30 people participating on them. So it got a bit big, depends on the project. After I graduated from the Tokyo Design Academy, what I did is join us full-time to Go Nihon as I was working in conventions and in the marketing department. And I worked there for a couple of years while I kept the webcomic ongoing, and I also started building portfolio, thinking about I want to have my own studio someday. Now, why did I not join an animation studio is quite a story, but basically I wanted to do things my way and participate in projects that follow a certain set of values that should not cover the cat. Basically what I did is just wait to see how the comic would grow and my content would grow. But at some point I got overwhelmed and I decided, no, I really want to do animation. So I asked the company where I was working on if I could work part-time while the studio grew, and I did actually animation, not just illustration, webcomic and such. A music band contacted me, they want a music video. That it started at some point, I think 2 years later, maybe, that's when I did the jump to focus fully on the studio, and that's what's been going on until today. During that time, please know that a lot have happened. Not everything is great and perfect. I deal with anxiety, I deal with insomnia, something that actually came from like before I even moved to Japan. So there's also things that I did personally, like trying to improve my physical health, my mental health. I got married and I'm very happy with my husband, and that's the first 8 years. So what happened from 2023 that I started being very active on YouTube, that I started doing like live streams almost every week, that you can still see the videos on YouTube, mostly interviews, but also talks about me just living in Japan and making all of this work. We were doing that while doing commission work, been doing music videos for bands. We've been doing, and I have to read the list because it's a lot. We've done short films or music videos that also look like short films separately. We've done trailers for books and video games. We've done advertisement. Everything I'm telling is some sort of storytelling. There's also a storytelling video to help someone use a service that's local. Like a lot of the content we made, actually, it's not public or something I can link to or that you can see directly. But there's been quite an amount of projects in the last 4 years. Some are bigger than others or more recognizable than others. For example, Scott Pilgrim EX, the video game, where in that case I participated alone. I did layout and keyframes for a few cuts. Then there's also related to video games something that I cannot talk about, and I think it may get public later this year or early 2027. Something I'm pretty proud of, and it involved quite some part of the team. I cross my fingers because sometimes something happens to the projects and then they disappear, but this one seems like the deal, and it will be known at some point, hopefully. What else did I do? I did a storyboard of a pilot of an animation series, video introductions for companies. It's just a bunch. Hopefully some of them are shown in screen while I'm speaking. Then other than that, some of the goals I mentioned in my 8 years in Japan video is that I wanted to start networking and reopening my network in Japan, and that happened. I've been speaking to people that I'm like, oh wow. So I have a rather sense of community with the other animators in Japan that are also foreigners, and there's so many of us. It's not just me. It's not just me. That are working in the more like classic studios or so doing their own thing or traveling from abroad, working from abroad and then coming to Japan sometimes. Reverse as well. We're quite a community. Then I also did some talks and conferences. Like I was in a conference, it was a work table. I also spoke with someone in quite a position of charge in the Association of Japanese Animators, AJA, where I actually get some content from sometimes to train our staff, and mostly expanding myself, talking more to others. The interviews also helped a lot, like the YouTube channel itself, like it helped like do all these links from one person to the other, so that was nice. That is nice.